gotta be. I ain't living in your fantasy, and I'll be real if it's the death of me. I'ma be who I gotta be, and I don't care who you pretend to be, cause I'll be real if it's the death of me.
And then I think I'll be showroom ready.
Showroom ready. So
showroom ready.
By the time this episode out, that means that you have videos loaded, you have videos published, because we're definitely pushing this out, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
So which one is it?
Posted or what you mean?
Are they gonna be published? The video's gonna be
published?
Oh,
by the time this video is out? Yeah. Can be posted. I do need to decide the channel. I don't know if I'll by then already be hopping into YouTube or what, but it'll probably be on more than one channel for sure. But I will say there was not a lot of like knowledge out there around certain stuff. Like I was like when I was telling y'all, for a Samsung Odyssey monitor, like you need a adapter for a display port and stuff like that. I was like trying to look that up. There's like such limited information on that. So like stuff like that is like, man, right off the bat, I found like a decent video blowing up. And he didn't even answer, he didn't even solve nothing. Like he didn't even do like what I need. I just like, it was like, it had like the buzzwords in there.
Yeah.
Samsung Odyssey G9, adapter, display port. And then I watched it. And why is the video 26 minutes? Like, bro, come on. I'm gonna be one of them people. Like, I'm gonna try to keep all the content as far as like solving stuff. I'm gonna keep it to a minimum. Yeah, because everybody busy. If you stopping by to watch some content real quick,
that's true. If you're trying to like find an adapter for a computer, yeah, you don't want to watch. No,
I got no 26 minutes, man. And then you don't. Yeah. Come on, man.
That's funny.
Why is it your intro like 2 minutes? What was that?
He said same thing with intro. I said the same thing with like cooking food. Like if you're trying to watch a video, learn how to cook food, you want that in like 5 minutes. Give me the ingredients, step 1 through 5 or whatever it is.
This is all good stuff for me to take in as a new content creator. I'm like, all right, let me keep that in mind. How I felt. I don't want to get into my backstory because when he got into his backstory, I was like, I don't care.
Where is it? How far can I skip into this video?
Right. Then he didn't have what's the names on there. Those are pretty helpful. The time segments, those are pretty helpful.
Oh yeah. I think that YouTube automatically does that. Yeah, they automatically section out. They call them chapters. Call them chapters. So they're able somehow, the computer, or the technology is able to tell what you're talking about and then section out.
I think also people can, I don't know if it's the creator that has to do it, but like I love it when videos have it because it makes it easier to navigate like what I'm looking for.
Around. Oh yeah. So that's a great segue from Golightly, is like talking about his content creator. He's going to put out a little video for everybody that's producing a studio, which I need that video. So that's why I'm like been pressing on you hard to put it out, because what I'm saying, like, I need it.
Hey man, when we start talking price, man, don't judge me on my finances.
You're right.
I don't want to hear nothing. Dang man, you bougie. Nah, man.
Oh yeah, you already know what I'm gonna be on. You bougie.
I dropped the links. He gonna be like, go like, come on, man.
Not in my price range. Yeah, maybe next year. Back to these YouTube chapters though. Okay, thanks for watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, but it's all about AI. Okay, so today is gonna be a lesson to me from y'all about AI, specifically Chat GPT. And I got some fun facts for y'all to be the ignorant person in the group. I got a couple of fun facts throughout there so I can contribute to the conversation. Did you know that nearly 77% of technology today uses AI technology? 77%. So most likely, if you have any piece, like a device at all, it is using AI technology. For example, there's a lot of everyday things that were crazy yesterday, and to now it's like, oh yeah, totally fine. So like MapQuest, for example. MapQuest was a thing where, you look at this thing and it tells you direction. Hey, here's how I go here. Now it's Google Maps. They automatically know where you're going, and they can make an immediate change to get you to the destination if you make a wrong turn. That's AI technology. What else? Facial recognition, that's that seemed like a thing for the future at some point. Autocorrect chatbots is the most, like obvious one. So yeah, that's my little fun fact for now for the people like me who are jumping into the AI conversation. But I want y'all to school me on like some of the use cases of Chat GPT.
I think,
Man, I love it. I love it.
yeah, I think like Lowe's had probably the best like use case for it for how to be productive. I mean, you could use it to write papers for you if you really wanted. It's just, I don't know. I think ChatGPT, it's such a like a new tool right now, and so like I don't really feel like there's like people are still learning how to use it, or there's no like best way, or there's no best practice or anything, right? Like
Yeah,
Well,
just
it's
yeah,
because
I mean,
it's
like not even like best practice, but like what can you use it for?
yeah. So let's rewind a little bit and talk about like the overall structure of Chat GPT and like
Yeah.
you're like, what the heck is Chat GPT? Let's just put it like this. Imagine a search engine that also has expertise in whatever niche you want to dive into, whatever industry you want to dive into. You can get context and information directly from AI, and it's contextual too. So like it's based on, it's data driven like all AI, and including the data that you give it. So when you ask it a question, it will add that into the database. So like imagine you like, teach me how to cook. Okay, cool. Now it knows that you were about to be making chicken. So like that just added information into the database. So now it's going to start recommending chicken-based, recipes and things like that. So just to give some context on that. And then if you flip a gear and talk about AI in tech, let's talk about particular platforms, Salesforce, Google, Cloud, coding, things like that. I'm really impressed so far in like what you can ask it and what it will show you. So what we talked about last time was like using AI as a crutch, because it will tell you exactly what you need to know.
Yeah.
It knows
Mhm.
Salesforce, and it knows Salesforce, it knows coding, it knows Apex, all the different, coding languages that you could probably think of. So what we were talking about is like using it to learn with it instead of like having it teach you or like having it answer everything for you. Because if that's the case, then like you're practically useless. If you're just taking information from AI and passing it over to your client or whoever, the delivery is for, what are you gaining from it? So, eventually it'll become a time where they'll say, you know what? Well, what was he doing for us? Let's just take him out of the picture and just ask the AI, let's just sync that up. It's literally growing every day. So that's the crazy part.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. I definitely want you to continue on your train of thought.
Yeah.
And this might be a little divert, so tell me we can touch on this later. But
Mm.
I do see that, and I think I've seen it recently to where, let's just say someone who works in a market, this is all hypothetical.
Mhm.
Someone works in a marketing department and like they have to write up a post for social media. You can put in whatever it is, the question that you're mentioning into Chat
Mhm.
GPT, and then it produces the caption for you.
Mm.
If
It can write
I
the whole
now
article for you.
it can write a whole article for you. Yeah,
It
you can
can.
you can go super far. You can write a
It
blog post,
can.
like whatever it is. So then, as a marketer, you know, if all I'm doing is producing the picture, then what am I doing? And a lot of people say that they fear AI because it does eliminate jobs. I'm a firm believer that it doesn't necessarily eliminate jobs. It does shift the where the value is. So for example, like they're still going to need somebody, like a marketing team is going to need somebody to produce the creativity. So AI
Yeah.
isn't taking away the jobs, it is up leveling the creativity or shifting to where, hey, the person who's creative is going to win in
Mhm.
this situation.
You
Yeah.
can use it as like a just like a check, right? Like you could verify, you could have your marketer or your content creator or whatever create something for you, like a blog post for um so you can see how much traction it gets. But before you post it, you can use ChatGPT just to double check, like
Yeah.
ask it the same question and then
Yeah.
compare the two and see, because like the AI is more powerful than has more it can research and digest information way faster than a human possibly can.
Yeah, and that probably will
So
always be true. So you can't
yeah,
avoid that part of it.
Yeah, but before we get too far along, we
Mhm.
do have to point out some of the cons so far.
Yep.
So Chat GPT is growing daily, like on massive scales. So from what I've noticed so far, before I could even recommend it to some people, it had already crashed once or twice.
yeah,
So it does max out, and there are flaws just like in technology, you know, but had to point out some of those things though. But I did want to get into a particular use case so far of like what you can use it for. So I'm a consultant, right? And a lot of the daily tasks that come with consulting, communication, delivering solutions, things like that. So what I got stuck on was my brain was so flustered one day from so many meetings and I had so much going on. I completed the project, but I had writer's block. I like, you know how you like over analyze an email sometimes, like, wait a minute, so I copied and pasted it into Chat GPT. It didn't have any crazy information in there. And I just pretty much asked like, hey, how can I reword this? And it took it and just, you know, I didn't use it word for word, but I was like, oh man, you know, this is a great idea. And then I like, I thought about it. And I learned from that because like the way that the etiquette that it added into the email was like, ooh, it's not like, yeah, I'm just going to copy and paste it. I thought about it for a second, like, dang, no, that's like some top notch etiquette right there. I'm going to actually add that into my toolbox now. So like,
Wow.
That's an example of like, you know, learning with it rather than, okay, let me look that over. Okay, cool. That looks good. No, I like looked at the email. I looked at mine. I looked at it. Why is mine less, you know, why is mine less professional and this one more? And I analyzed that and I'm like, okay, cool. But I'm going to go with this one. But like now I learned something from that, you know, and then also it knows Salesforce's native tool flows, which is something that I struggle with. Man, I can literally like put in, how can I make my flow do a loop it will get right into it. And the best part, if you don't believe it, it's gonna drop an article at the bottom for you to fact check it. Come on, man. I'll be like, man, boy, you talking your stuff, man. I'm gonna go check this out. But
you showing out now, huh?
Yeah, it literally drops like it'll drop like a Salesforce help article.
Wow.
And it's great, bro.
So do you think there's a level of technology in which it already knows? Like Salesforce is pretty big, so that might be why I know Salesforce. Does it know a lot of like smaller technology platforms too, you think?
I think it knows them all.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like most technology is all built around the same like frameworks as far as like you know, whatever languages it speaks or anything like that. So I think it can easily learn it.
Yeah. It just has all the tools and resources available to it to learn whatever you ask it. So it's really like the possibilities are infinite in a sense. It's like there's not the only limitations are probably
The
power.
human mind.
Oh yeah, like what you can ask. Yeah, like because I mean, like you've seen, you know, how many times we all work in tech, right? If Amazon or Cloudflare goes down, you know, services go down. Like so many websites are built off of like AWS or other or like, you know, parallels to it. So if that service goes down, the website's down. Like I remember a couple months ago, like there was a bunch of websites that you can't even go to because AWS was down or like Cloudflare blew up. And so like so it's things like that. Like I think that's the limitation. But like going back to like a marketing example, like because I know we used to be in the marketing space, Leo. Like you could use it as like your little widgets when you go to a website. You could actually have it answering customers instead of like so like that's what like that's a use case that people
like a
can.
chatbot? Is that what you're talking about? Like it can be the chatbot?
I'm pretty sure you can integrate it like a chatbot, but ChatGPT itself isn't just like a widget chatbot.
Yeah.
But I mean, it kind of is like on its own. But like I think you could use it to like make like automated responses to customer inquiries and stuff.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So like I remember like
it knows all the answers.
Yeah, exactly. And if it doesn't, it can do the research faster than a human can.
Yeah.
And so
I can ask somebody, you know.
And that's the crazy part because of the cost associated with that heavy lifting right there. Making phone calls, you know, call deflection, emails, you know, those take time and those add up as far as like chopping those down or automating those or turning those around and get those driven by AI. So a wise person would think of, okay, well, if we're getting, you know, if this is becoming redundant, what else can I learn? You know, that's my take on it. or at least know how to fix, bots, or know how to just don't sit there comfortable like, okay, cool, we got this, I can lean on this all day, man. Cool, this is nice and cozy. I'm gonna click this, copy this, go there, and the next thing you know, they go, man, we're gonna go ahead and move you around because that's pretty much taken care of. We need you over here now.
And that's my point about it doesn't eliminate jobs. It only kind of up levels or shifts the
Yeah.
creativity because somebody still has to manage the bot or somebody has to develop the platform.
Yep.
There's maintenance to everything. So there's still entrepreneurs only create jobs.
Yeah.
Like, although they may be creating a robot, like they're still creating jobs in the same way.
And then like we talked about too, like there's always going to be in business those areas that you always need that front facing interaction and stuff like that. That's just like it's off limits for AI,
Yep. Yeah, that human element, that human context.
Human element.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take a long time before companies in leadership will actually trust in it, right? To have full confidence in AI or like a chatbot, you're always gonna want to have like a human there to verify and make sure that everything's as expected.
And I'm trying to get humans to trust Salesforce.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So it's like there's a whole bunch of people who still don't trust like computers and technology. So
yeah. Some people still
Just
got
shows
flip
you
phones.
how skeptical things can be, but that's rightfully so. When you're talking about the entire structure of things relying on data, it's a fair point. But I was just thinking about something that you said earlier. You brought up like Google Maps and stuff like that. Have y'all noticed lately that it requires a lot more input when you're using it? Not even in terms of like destination to destination, but like it gives you a lot of opportunities to add to other users' experience.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy to me. Like it'll ask you like, hey, is this traffic still here?
Yeah.
And it's like a screen floater where it pops up and it's only there for so long, and you can contribute. You can add data to say, out of 17 people that's right here in this line, I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, this traffic is still here.
I'm always curious on how it knows the traffic before it started asking people, or the speed traps. Like, is it just tapped into that many phones and everybody has their location
I think
on?
it's just looking at the phones and just seeing congestion.
But that many people have their location on all the time? I only have mine on when I'm traveling.
I don't think it's dependent on that. I think I don't think you can turn it off. I think they got it. I think they just got it, man. Like, man, we don't care what you're talking about, man. We know where you at.
Yeah. We asked for permission, but we got what we need.
They got other ones too, where it's like I've seen like little messages pop up, cop nearby, and they're like you ride by like, oh dang, I wonder who took. You're looking.
Who submitted that?
Yeah.
I have a question for you, and Kenny, you might not be able to answer this question, but I'm kicking it your way anyway. As a software developer, like, where do you think this is going to take your career? Like, given AI, like, is this because code is also implication of it? It being able to possibly spit out code to you, and also just there's probably going to be a lot more focus on creating automation. Like, that's with everything. Everyone wants to create automation. So what does this have in store for software developers? Have you thought about that?
Not so much. I mean, like, even if I think even now, like, you could ask it if like, oh, I need to create an app for like a side project, or I need to create even like a small snippet. I need to do this for my job. I could probably ask ChatGPT to do it, but I don't know if ChatGPT will be able to, carry out the full life cycle of like what is needed to actually deliver like the piece of work right now. So like, while it can produce like the line of code, it can't actually, like, I don't think it can apply it into the environment and do everything else that needs to be done with it.
Yeah.
So, but even as like a developer, like, yeah, we're constantly chasing ways to remove, like, you don't want to do the same thing. If you find yourself doing a task over and over again, that's a sign that you need to automate it, or find a way to compress it to make it so, because that means it's taking too much time out of your day if you're doing something that frequently. Like, you need to make a way to streamline it or to optimize. So like, we're always searching for ways to optimize and save time, because time is like the most valuable resource. So I think that, like, I don't know, like, we were messing around with it, like me and a couple of my coworkers, and we were just like giving it like project prompts, like, oh, do this, and it's scary like how much information it has and how much it can do. But like kind of like what Lo said, like you can use it to see what it's doing and see all the resources that it does, or like see how it does something. Like, okay, cool. Like I had an idea, but I couldn't necessarily like make something material.
Yep. Put
It'll
the
be-
pieces together.
Exactly.
I think it'll definitely get you a fraction of the way there. Like,
yeah, it definitely
but
can get you there.
It's not completely plug and play. Definitely
yet.
have to have some knowledge there.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
otherwise you're gonna hook it up and it's gonna be misfiring.
Yeah, I mean, like, because like if you take someone who has no knowledge at all of like coding or software development, and then if I don't think they could fake their way with ChatGPT.
It's a good point.
Ooh,
Because-
that's a good point.
Because like sure you have a problem, but I think the hardest part is like, do you know the right questions to ask? So like,
Kenny, you just ended the podcast.
but I mean I think that's a lot of what not just software development, but every role that you learn what questions to ask. And even if you know the problem or you don't know the problem, like if you know what questions to ask, you get there faster.
Yeah.
And so maybe in some areas you could probably use ChatGPT and fake it until you make it. But I think for the most part, people will be able to detect BS, right? Like you'll be able to detect the phony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have to have something in order to have, you got to have some kind of input in order to get the output.
Yeah. Or you have to, like it can, like Lo said, I think it can get you part of the way there, but you have to know how to apply it.
Yep. You're gonna be like referencing stuff that doesn't even exist in that environment and stuff like that.
Yeah. Or you're gonna have no idea like if it's the right thing or not, and then you're gonna submit it, and then everyone's just gonna rip you apart and be like,
Forest fire. You got a prod fire.
It'll just quickly prove that you actually don't know anything.
Yeah.
Especially if someone starts questioning you, like how like what do you do?
Don't be client facing and not know your stuff, man. Oh man.
Yo, that'd be hilarious. Someone has created like months and months of work all through chat, and they have no clue what inputs at all have been done. No process, anything. Somebody asks them a question, I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know that was on there.
Hey,
there are stories of sorry to cut you off, Lois.
I've seen it.
Yeah, there are stories of people who outsource all of their work using like Fiverr and like other stuff, like software developers who will outsource all of their work to contractors, and they just sit there and look pretty. So like, but that's not AI, that's a human element. But
still leaning on others, knowledge.
Exactly. And I mean, some people can get away with it, but I think
it's only so long.
Yeah, I think when they finally got pressed about something, they got found out because they probably got asked a question and they were just like, oh, like I have no idea.
You don't have a secret sauce. Yo, thank you for tuning into the P.E.A.C.E podcast. This podcast actually started off with 4 friends sitting around a table once a week. We were having conversations to educate ourselves about the world around us, talking about what we're dealing with day to day as regular people, and simply to self-reflect. So that's all that you're seeing us do here, and you're getting to see it live. So I challenge you to do the same thing. If you've made it this far, obviously something caught your attention. So get a group of friends and build a small community and start to join in the conversation. Like, these are tough conversations, these are fun conversations, but these are conversations that are needed to be had. In fact, I want to make it easy for you. If you're listening to this podcast at home, invite a friend over. Or maybe invite 2 friends over, 3 friends over, whatever it is. Turn your TV on, your computer, your phone, wherever you want to watch it, turn the podcast on, okay? And join in the conversation. If you're listening to this maybe on a run, at the gym, I get it. I do the exact same thing. But maybe you can share the link, clip the file or something like that, and just pose one of the questions that you heard here today. The point is to build community and to self-reflect. Oftentimes we don't vocalize the things that we need to work on, and that's one small way that I think that we can, help improve ourselves, improve others, and most importantly, pursue excellence and cherish everyone. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you again next week. Peace.